thank everybody for being here and begin, if you wouldn't mind, with a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Before we get going, I see we've got a pretty full agenda. For those of you here visiting with us, I see on both sides, this is a committee that's made up of 6 members of City Council, which includes the mayor. The members who are here present today are Councilmember McBride, the mayor, Councilmember Gregg, and myself, Mike Seekings. We expect council members Gregory and Brady to be here at some point during the proceedings. So that's who makes up this committee. Do we have anybody online? Is Councilmember Brady online? And I do want to recognize Councilmember Tinkler is also present with us today. But he is not a member of our committee, but we're happy to have him. All right, so full agenda. First thing on the agenda is the approval of minutes from February 25th, 2025. We got a motion. We've got a second. Is there any discussion, additions, deletions, corrections? If not, all in favor? Any opposed? The ayes have it. Next on the agenda, if we have one, is a low-line update. Do we have anything today?
But I need to get it from my desk, so if we could
All right,
go to the
the
next
mayor
one
is
or
excused.
something.
We'll go on to number 4. Rideshare pilot program request for approval and municipal code amendment, long awaited. Who's going to handle this? Ms. Pinkston? Ms. Creech? Both? Someone? Awesome. Thank you.
See one over here. Oh, wait, here we go. The black.
All right, well, we're going to carry on with number 4, then we'll go back to number 3. How's
Sure,
that
sorry.
suit you? Okay?
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Pinkston, floor is yours.
This should be quick. We're just approving the 2 ordinance amendments that we talked about last month that didn't make it on the agenda for last month. So one of them is to allow food delivery drivers to use the rideshare zones. And then the other is to allow riders with disabilities to request an alternate pickup drop-off location. So I think we've been operating under both of those assumptions since the program started, but this is just small ordinance update.
And it also incorporates a couple of changes to the parking spaces
Yes.
and Calhoun Street, right? Have you got any comments since the last time you presented here in front of this committee?
I have not.
Okay.
I've met with a couple of neighborhood associations in and around King Street, and the response has been pretty positive.
As have I. I think that's right. Any questions, comments from the committee? Can I get a motion on this, by the way?
Move for approval.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Any questions or comments from the committee? Just a note of thanks to everyone who worked so hard, Ms. Pinkston on this, the police department, TNT. This has been I just want to put on the record, this has really been a true, our legal team, by the way, sorry. I see you leaning forward back there. I apologize. This really has been a true pilot program. It's gone through some changes along the way. I think all for the better. And again, this is something that is organic. We'll keep an eye on things to make sure it's all working and can always make some adjustments along the way. So to all involved, thank you for what's been about a year and a half's hard work. Looks like it's about to culminate in a positive result. So any other comments or questions? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
Hello? Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. All right, thanks again. We're good to go.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go back now to number 3, low line update.
Thank you for your patience. The bid process for the first phase of the Lowline Phase 1 is officially closed. We have issued an intent to award the project to Edifice Construction and are currently negotiating a contract with our legal staff. We plan to bring a proposed award and contract to City Council during the August 8th City Council meeting for approval. And I believe work is, if that is approved, we would target starting work on the project by the end of the year. And that concludes my report.
Okay, any questions for the mayor on low line? Looks like it's moving forward. Any questions, comments? If not, thank you very much for the update. We'll look forward to hearing more as we go along. Next is number 5, because we've already done number 4, right? Application for certificate of public convenience and necessity, Old Village Transportation. Can I get a motion to take numbers? Oh, no, that's fine. Number 5.
Move for approval.
Got a second? Motion and a second. Any questions? This one's all in order, is it, Mr. Mathis?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. No questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Next, Charleston County Transportation Sales Tax and Transportation Committee Project Updates Presentation. Who's going to handle that? All right, come on, you, Ms. Kelly?
Before this presentation begins, I was just told I had a verbal typo there. It is April 8th for the council contract, not August 8th.
We'll make sure that makes it in the record. Thank you very much. All right, sorry for that brief interruption. Floor is yours. Thank you for coming. Please introduce yourself to the committee and we're ready.
Okay, my
Thank-
name is Mackenzie Kelly. I'm with Charleston County Public Works. I'm the engineering manager. Today we're going to be giving an update on our transportation sales tax and county transportation committee projects.
Do you need a clicker?
Before I get started, we realized coming that we forgot a slide on one of our projects that's really important that's on the agenda, and that's our Brown Woods roundabout at River Road. So I do want to give a quick update on that. We did receive 1 million in funding from the state. That project, we did go through proposals and we went through county council finance to recommend a design consultant for that. So we are starting the design. Projects currently under construction. First up is Main Road Corridor 7A. This is the widening of Main Road between Bees Ferry Road and Chisholm Road, along with a new interchange at intersection US 17, including flyover ramps. This is a design build contract awarded to Archer United Banks, and it was a joint venture for $354 million.
Finally.
This project is currently in design, working through utility coordination and right-of-way acquisition. We held our first public project update meeting on March 13th. I believe there was over 250 in attendance. For what's next, we're continuing with our roadway and bridge plan design. Construction and utility relocations will begin in the second quarter. And we are anticipating completion in September of 2028. Maybank and Woodland Shores Complete Streets Project. This is the installation of a mid-block pedestrian crossing on Maybank Highway at the poorhouse and sidewalks along Woodland Shores Drive. Construction contract was awarded to Gulfstream Construction for $3.6 million. Crews will have 390 days to reach substantial completion, and we actually held our groundbreaking ceremony this morning for this project. We anticipate construction beginning at the end of March, and we are holding our first public meeting for this on April 10th at 6:30. This will be in joint with Central Park Basin, since both projects will have impacts to traffic along Riverland Drive. So the Central Park Basin drainage improvement projects, that includes installation of a box culvert underneath Central Road and also raising the road elevation. Current construction project cost is $2.7 million, and we did receive the South Carolina Rural Infrastructure Authority grant for this project. We are scheduling our pre-construction meeting and notice to proceed for later this week. And again, I want to highlight that public meeting on April 10th at 6:30 p.m. Projects that are currently advertised. First up, we have Folly Road bike and pedestrian improvements. This is the installation of a sidewalk along Folly Road from Ellis Creek to George Griffith Boulevard, and also includes restriping of Folly Road to incorporate those bike lanes. Project total cost is approximately $5.6 million. We did recently close bids on March 18th. We only received one bid that was way over our project budget. So next step is we're going to redirect that bid and plan to re-advertise this summer. We're looking at creative ways to change maybe the asphalt design or other ways to get that project to be more appetizing to bidders. Next up, Savage Road Sidewalk. This is the installation of a sidewalk between Etowah Avenue and first entrance to Castlewood. You can see it in the blue highlighted in the picture. And then also the other entrance on Castlewood and Henry Tecklenburg Drive. Total project cost, $950,000. This project is currently advertised for construction with bid opening on March 26th. Next step is hopefully if we get good bids, we're going to award that construction contract and schedule our notice to proceed. Uh-oh.
I'm wondering if that screen just messed up your ability to
Yeah.
control. Try now. There you go.
All right, next up is our projects to be advertised. Ashley Avenue at Congress Street. This is the installation of pedestrian signals and curb bulb outs to provide traffic calming and increase pedestrian safety. Estimated construction cost is $253,000. Project has been advertised twice and both times received no bids. Moving forward, the project will be combined with Ashley Avenue at Hugie Street to rebid for in the third quarter of 2025. So the project they'll be combined with is Ashley Avenue at Hugie Street. Includes installation of pedestrian signals, crosswalks, curb bulb outs to provide traffic calming and increase pedestrian safety. Total project cost, $465,000. The status is we're currently going through permit review with South Carolina DOT and the city's TRC. We anticipate final permits by mid-May, and again, plan to bid this project in the third quarter. Courtney Drive at Daughtry Street signal upgrade includes the installation of pedestrian crossing signals and crosswalk to improve safety. Estimated construction cost, $172,000. Project status is we are planning to combine this project as well with the SCDOT Crosswalk Phase 2 and also our Stalker and Chadwick Drive Capacity Improvements Project. This project is in procurement, ready to advertise, and we anticipate advertising it in second quarter. I think realistically, this one's within the next month. Stalker and Chadwick Drive, again, this is the project being combined with the one slide before. It's also a capacity improvement, bicycle and pedestrian upgrades to Stalker and Chadwick intersection at Highway or Savannah Highway. Estimated construction cost, $215,000. Again, this project will be combined with the SCD Crosswalks Phase 2 and Courtney and Daughtry Street, and it's in procurement, ready for advertisement. We're looking at second quarter. No bids. Right, I should have highlighted that, re-advertise in second quarter.
These are all funded projects too, right?
Correct,
Yeah.
there's a lot.
All right, I'm well aware. Thank you.
Next up, Sycamore Avenue bike and pedestrian improvements. Installation of a sidewalk on SC 61 from West Ashley Greenway to Sycamore Avenue and connecting to crossing improvements at South Carolina 61 and Sycamore. Estimated construction cost, $690,000. Again, project has been previously advertised and rejected due to high bids. This project is also currently on hold, and that's due to the South Carolina DOT road safety audit. Their road safety audit recommended a hawk signal at this intersection. We're waiting for direction from the DOT.
That might be their direction right there.
Yeah, end it. And once we get the direction back, I believe it's in the next month, we'll have a decision. If they're moving forward with their hawk signal, we may not need to move forward with our project.
We're working on technology apparently.
I may, yeah. Can you- Sorry about that. Thank you. Maybe. Okay, it changed. Ashley Hall at Sam Rittenberg and intersection improvement projects. This is the extension of turn lanes from Ashley Hall onto Sam Rittenberg along with sidewalk extensions. Estimated construction costs, $880,000. We have received our South Carolina DOT encroachment permit, but we're finalizing all necessary right-of-way easements. Anticipate advertising for bids second quarter. Calhoun Street at the James Island Connector. This is widening and intersection improvements along Calhoun Street from the James Island Connector to Gadsden Street. Estimated construction cost is $10.7 million. All right-of-way has been acquired. Dominion has finalized their relocations, and AT&T is working to do their relocations next. We are awaiting the South Carolina DOT encroachment permit, but we are looking to advertise this in second quarter.
Is that the project that they're also going to install a check valve at the base of the James Island connector?
You know, the check valve.
I see Mr. Mathis saying, shaking his head, yes. Okay. That's part and parcel of that project, right? The project cost of the county's. Okay. Thank you. Has that one been bid before?
I don't believe so, because we're still doing.
Okay. Great. Thank you.
City Golf Course crossing and sidewalk connection. This is the installation of a signalized crossing at Maybank Highway at the City Municipal Golf Course. It also includes sidewalks along Maybank Highway to increase pedestrian safety. Estimated construction cost, $770,000. Final construction plans are completed, and our team's putting together that IFB package to take to procurement to advertise second quarter. Columbus Street and America Street curb extensions and pedestrian improvements. This includes an engineering study and installation of the mid-block crossing countermeasures. This might include curb extensions or rapid flashing beacons. There is an existing mid-block crossing at this location. Estimated project cost is $448,000. Staff has received a letter of support and maintenance letter from the city. Thank you. And utility coordination is ongoing. Staff is continuing to coordinate with the city's TRC for final plans, and we anticipate advertising for construction in the third quarter. East Bay Street sidewalk, installation of a new sidewalk along East Bay from Charlotte Street to the existing sidewalk near 515 East Bay Street. Estimated construction cost, $190,000. Again, this project has previously been advertised 2 times with no bids. So we're planning to re-advertisement in the second quarter. This time our approach is just do it as a standalone project instead of grouping with other projects in hopes that maybe we'll get bids this time. Fleming Road sidewalk includes the installation of 675 feet of 5-block sidewalk from Maybank Highway to Standard Way. Estimated construction cost, $700,000. Our team is working to obtain those final right-of-way permissions from the Bethany United Methodist Church. That's the church on the left here in the picture. And we are ongoing utility coordination. We are anticipating advertising this project in the third quarter. Fort Johnson Road at Camp improvements includes the installation of a traffic circle at the intersection of Fort Johnson and Camp Road. Estimated construction cost is between $5 and $6 million. We anticipate to combine this project with the Fort Johnson and Successionville improvement project for advertisement, and we anticipate advertising that in the second quarter. So again, Fort Johnson at Successionville, which will be combined with the slide before this. That is the installation of traffic signal at this intersection with the dedicated turn lanes. Total construction project is about $4.5 million. Again, we plan to combine it with the Fort Johnson and Camp in the second quarter. Oceanic Street multi-use path, installation of a multi-use path from the Skate Charleston Park to the proposed entrance at Magnolia Development. Estimated construction cost, $590 million. This project will need carryover funding to move it to construction, but we do want to note it has previously been advertised 3 times with either no bids or 2 high bids.
Multi-use path of 590. That doesn't sound right to me. 590 million.
I'm sorry, that should be
I was
thousand.
about to say, you'll get some bidders on that one.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm sorry about that. 590,000. And we anticipate, once we get that carryover funding, we anticipate advertising.
Charleston moves over there is getting very excited.
Yeah. It's a very nice
Yellow
sidewalk.
Brick Road.
Old Town Road Bike and Pedestrian Improvements. Project will construct a 10-foot multi-use path connecting the entrance to the state park to the Old Town Creek County Park sidewalk. Total project cost is approximately $475,000. This project is ready for advertisement, and we anticipate advertising it in the second quarter, and we do plan to combine it with the Old Town Road sidewalk project. And that project includes construction of a 10-foot multi-use path from St. Augustine Drive to Old Town Creek County Park entrance. Total project cost about $307,000. This project is obtaining the final permitting and maintenance agreement with the Charleston County Parks. And once we have that, again, we plan to advertise it second quarter. Savannah Highway Capacity Improvements Project. Intersection improvements on US 17 at DuPont Stenson, Wapu Road, and Magnolia and Avondale Avenue to reduce congestion and improve safety. Total project cost, $15 million. Currently, we're in right-of-way acquisition, permitting, and utility coordination. This is for Stenson, DuPont, and Wapu. Those intersections we plan to advertise in second quarter. However, the Magnolia and Avenue, we are working with city legal, drafting that agreement to move forward with design, pending the right-of-way acquisition.
What needs to be acquired? Okay. Okay. What's that?
If y'all, put something in writing, we're gonna get for our legal to review to see, so we can just go ahead and keep it moving forward.
Okay.
It's probably hard to get right.
Right. You can be the first to do it. We'll see how it goes.
Next up, we have Country Club Road at Folly Road pedestrian improvements. Includes the installation of 630 linear feet of sidewalk from east side of Country Club between Folly Road and the mid-block crossing that's on Country Club. Estimated construction cost, $528,000. Again, this project will need carryover funded to go forward to construction. We do have our South Carolina DOT permit, and we are preparing that IFB package. So based on the funding needs, probably be fourth quarter for advertisement. Romney Street Bike Lane, this includes the installation of bike lanes on Romney Street from Meeting Street to Morrison Drive. Estimated construction cost, $150,000. We did coordinate, there's sections of this road that are DOT, and unfortunately, bike lanes do not meet the width of the road. So we've been working with the city and DOT to do a modified design with sharrows on the road. We're reviewing those updated plans, and we're planning to change order this into an existing resurfacing contract in the second quarter. St. Philip Street and Cumming Street, mid-block crossing, installation of a signalized mid-block crossing, both St. Philip Street and Cumming Street. Estimated construction cost, $290,000. This project will also need carryover funding, so we anticipate advertising it in the fourth quarter. Again, this project has previously been advertised 2 times and no bids either time. Central Park Road at Riverland Drive, installation of a crosswalk, right turn lane, rapid flashing beacons, and widen the sidewalk to improve safety for all modes of transportation, while also avoiding impacts to properties and grand trees. Project cost is $1.5 million. Current status is updating the right-of-way plans that have been resubmitted to DOT to address their comments. We're coordinating our environmental permitting agencies on the drainage upgrades at Bradham Road. Next step is right-of-way acquisition to start in the second quarter, and we anticipate advertising this project in the fourth quarter. Old Town transportation improvements. This project will improve the Orange Grove at Sam Rittenberg intersection, as well as bike and pedestrian improvements throughout the corridor. Total project cost, $16.2 million. Currently, right-of-way plans are approved by DOT, and its staff has started acquiring that right-of-way. We anticipate for advertise in the third quarter. Savannah Highway at Savage Road improvements. This is a right turn lane extension from Savage Road onto US 17, along with sidewalk improvements. Total project cost, $1.14 million. Dominion utility relocations have been completed, and now we're pending communication relocations. Anticipate advertising this project also in the second quarter. So projects that are in design. Mutual Drive sidewalk. This is construction of 450 linear feet of 5-foot sidewalk along Mutual Drive from Cherokee Hall to US 17. Total project cost, $300,000. We're currently just approved our design, scope, and fee for this project, and our design team has started their surveys that we anticipate to be done by the end of April. Rutledge Avenue and Fishburne Street curb extensions and pedestrian improvements. This includes the engineering study and installation of a mid-block crossing countermeasures, again, which may include curb extensions or flashing beacons. There is an existing mid-block crossing at this location. Total project cost, $385,000. Staff is currently negotiating the design and scope fee with consultants, and next step is to finalize that scope and fee to begin our design work. Maybank Highway improvements. This is for the Maybank 4th lane. This is addition of a second outbound lane on Maybank Highway off Johns Island near the intersection of Maybank Highway and River Road to the Stono River Bridge. We have moved forward with the design and permitting contract for $1.7 million. Field surveys and data collection is currently underway, along with preliminary analysis of road design concepts. Preliminary plans should be ready in the third quarter. Northbridge bike and pedestrian improvements. Construction of a new bike and ped bridge connection from Northbridge Park to Azalea Drive. Approximately $46 million project. The county did apply for a RAISE grant back in January, and those awards for those projects will be in June. And that is all of our projects. That's a
All right,
lot.
that's a whole bunch. Any questions?
Yep,
from any
quick question on the Brownswood River intersection, the roundabout. So you got the last million that you needed for the 6 million total for the cost of that, is that right?
And so we do know that we have a shortfall already, but I believe State Representative Wetmore was gonna push to get that additional money while we're in design.
And I
so-
think that's what your slide said, was the extra, it said a million, so I'm assuming that that's the last million. That you,
Yes.
okay, so does that change the timeline, estimated timeline on that? Okay,
So that council tonight,
okay.
and that state, that's the one that was selected.
Okay, awesome, thanks.
Any other questions from anybody around the table? Just really quickly, I didn't count them all, but there's a ton of projects in there between like 250 and $1 million that you just can't get people to bid. Have you been thinking about creative ways at the county to try to get people to come in and bid these projects and get them done? I mean, we got one through the College of Charleston campus. You got 6,000 cars a day going up Cumming Street, kids, 10,000 college students crossing the street, and we can't get a raised crosswalk.
Contractor meeting and trying to encourage people to come down here and bid on work. We are gonna do that. We're gonna try to reach out further, more than Charleston. Also for sidewalk projects, what we're hearing, talking to banks and the larger ones, a lot of them can't meet our bonding requirements. So, what we're doing is we are working with our procurement department. They're going to do a training session to get people that may, blue collar that might not get the bonds. They just want to do construction for something under maybe 3 million. We allow these guys that might not have the bonding capacity and just rely on their insurance. So they're developing a program where they will bring them in, teach them how to get bonded, and allow them to bid in the meantime if they commit to take these classes. That's the only option that we have right now that we can think of.
It seems
But
like
yes, it's very challenging.
It seems like a good idea. I mean, especially with the smaller projects. I mean, there's so many of them. It's crazy. Yeah, and in the meantime, the project costs are going up anyway, right? I mean, so. All right, well, it's exciting. Thank you for spending some time with us and telling us about all the many projects. I'm sure there's many people around this table and others who are gonna be excited to see that they're out there, that they're funded. They'll be even more excited to see when they actually get going, right? So
Thank you
whatever
so
we
much.
can do to help, please let us know. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, next, what do we got next? River Road improvements, Johns Island Elementary School update. Do we have one of those? Is that happening? All right. All right, here we go. There he is.
Good afternoon. I'm Jeff Browy, the Chief Operating Officer for the school district.
Thank you, Chuck, for being here.
Greetings from Anita Huggins, our superintendent, who couldn't be here today. Mackenzie took all the slides, so I won't have any slides for you today. Might be the first time I haven't done slides since I was in the Pentagon years ago. So I'm here to give you an overview of our school project and the associated road work. The bottom line up front, the bluff, is that the work will be done in time for school, roadway surfaces and the school. We opened the school on August 12th. We expect to have work done the first week of August and ready to go. So we're very excited. A lot has occurred since the last transportation committee meeting. And that's one of the reasons I haven't done slides. Every day there's something new out there. In relation to the three sections of the project, one is the school, well ahead of construction. It's sealed up essentially. Ready for flooring. The HVAC is 98% complete. Water and sewage is in. Curb and gutter around the school is done. And we are really looking pretty good out there for the school itself. I'm also proud to say on the roundabout, dirt's moving. I almost jumped on the D7 yesterday myself. I was so excited. You can see the makings of the roundabout happening as we speak. So we have all the permits necessary for that section of road. I really appreciate the mayor, other representatives, as well as the staff that's really helped make sure that we get all of this thing through. We've ordered the structures for the storm sewer. And like I said, the earthwork is moving ahead on that roundabout, which we will eventually connect into River Road. The left turn, right turn, which is the third part of the project, and that's the intersection of Brownswood and River that you all were talking about with the ultimate roundabout. We are adding left turn lanes off of River onto Brownswood and a right-hand turn lane off of Brownswood onto River. That is tracking day by day. So we have our land disturbance permit from the county. We have St. John's Water approval for the water line, and we just completed that this week. And Charleston Water, we received comments on the sewer line on the last couple of days, and we'll respond to them. Once we get that approval, that'll move us in the last step of permit approvals. We have to get Department of Environmental Services. That's the construction permit, and we have to get a permit from, I'm short one here, DOT, and that's the utility permit. So those are very short duration responses. In fact, the work for St. John's Water is with those two agencies. We expect to get those permits back in the next week. Once we finish with Charleston Water, we'll go ahead down that same process. I know that Council Member McBride asked about the sewer the storm sewer work. We are putting 1,000 lineal feet of storm sewer piping on each side of the roundabout and the approaches, and 900 feet of storm piping on River Road, the south side of River Road toward that intersection. So there will be permanent piping installed.
And the purpose of that, just so that everyone understands, is it allows more shoulder to be added to River Road.
Yes, sir.
Is that correct?
Absolutely. So that's my presentation, subject to your questions.
All right, any questions from any member of the committee? Thank you, by the way, for coming and taking some time to give us an update. This is something that's been weighing, I won't say heavily on our minds, but we're certainly thinking about it. And
It's
do have one-
heavily in mind as well, so.
One question for the Brownswood and River intersection portion, those turn lanes, those are not slated to be done in time for the school to be open, right? Or
They are, sir.
They are also,
Right.
okay,
They are.
that's great.
That one, that'll be the tightest, but right now we expect that work to be done
Okay.
before school starts.
And again, you're piping some of the stormwater from that intersection and from the roundabout several hundred feet
Correct.
either direction.
Yes, sir.
That's wonderful. Okay, thanks. And I do have a presentation also to ask some questions just to the city staff about this project as well. That was pulled up earlier. You can pull that up.
all right. Anything else from any member of the committee?
Yeah, thank you. This is more for just the city staff, like, just want the public to understand, again, the neighborhoods behind this, the school, and go to the next slide.
I'm trying to, what are we looking at here?
Okay,
Kevin?
the neighborhoods behind, this is the school, that's River Road, just north of the school. And behind it is the neighborhoods that we brought up at the last couple meetings. And there's the concern about the sidewalks and speed mitigation. So, next slide. So you can't see in the bottom. The bottom, coming out of Moonbeam, there are sidewalks in that neighborhood. And there's no sidewalks in the neighborhood coming out of Claybrook Street. And just talking to the staff earlier this week, I understand that was, I'll just let, whoever can speak to that, because I need the public to understand.
I can speak to it.
Okay,
As I understand it, when the when the subdivision that was approved that has no sidewalks was done at a time when Johns Island, there was a big push by residents of Johns Island to keep Johns Island more rural. And so it was intentionally done to have no sidewalks. It was considered an estate-like development, not a new urban type development, not an urban infill type development. So that was done intentionally at the time. That was the request and preference of Johns Island residents kind of en masse. That has since changed. And so Johns Island has gotten a lot more urban in nature. And so when any new subdivision comes in, there are sidewalks. And what we can do is provide kind of a general timeline for when that change occurred. But I suspect it was probably 15 or so years ago. But we'll get clarity on when that actually happened and shift occurred.
and if I could just ask again from a couple meetings ago, just as far as the speed mitigation, we're gonna wait till after the school's open, right? And you can talk to that really quick
Well,
and do an assessment for traffic going through those neighborhoods.
Yes, as far as the speed mitigation, we base that on our traffic calming program. So we were still waiting on the petition signed by 75% of the residents in favor of traffic calming speeding. These are city streets, so the speed limit would be 25 miles an hour. But again, per our traffic calming program, we require that petition in order to install traffic calming device.
Okay, so it behooves them to wait. Should they try to get that petition now and in lieu of the school opening, or wait until the school opens, or what do you recommend?
Well, I think it'd be good if they could start on the petition now.
Okay.
That way we can get the process rolling. And we probably will do the counts when the school is open so we can get accurate data. But having that petition in place now would be good.
Okay, if there's other questions, I mean, you've got Mr. Somerville's, I think, available to answer those questions. So anything else?
Nope.
We're good? All right, anything else from the school district? Then we're good. All right, any other questions? If not, next on our agenda, SCDOT road safety audit updates and presentation. Who is going to handle this for us today? All right, come on up, please introduce yourselves and welcome to City Council and thank you for being here. We're very hospitable here.
You should have a copy of this
We do?
presentation as well. All right, so I've presented to this committee before. I see a couple of new faces, so I wanted to just take a minute to formally introduce myself as well as my colleagues. My name is Kaylin Metz. I am a project manager in our traffic safety office at SCDOT. Sean is also a project manager, and we also have our director of traffic engineering, Mr. Brett Dillon, here with us today too. We are presenting on. Okay, sorry. We are presenting 4 new projects. Thank you. We're presenting 4 new projects within the city limits. They are along Folly Road, Septima Clark Parkway, Ashley River Road, and Savannah Highway. And these are all safety projects. All of our projects are crash data driven. So if you've ever been unfortunate enough to be in a crash, you've received one of those forms on the right side of that screen. And that is filled out by the responding officer in a crash. They document kind of what happened and put that information into a database that we are able to access and pull information from. Once we pull that information, we run a list every other year of roads and corridors within the state that have high crash rates. We run 2 separate lists, one for motor vehicles and then one also for bicycles and pedestrian crashes. For vehicular segments, we look at the total fatal and serious injury crashes, and these are ranked. So on the left-hand side of the screen, you can see how those projects ranked. So the 3 of the 4 projects that we are presenting on today were ranked 3, 5, and 9 in the whole state of South Carolina. And then taking a closer look at the non-motorized, the bicycle and pedestrian list, you can see that SC 61 ranked at number 4. And these projects are ranked based on crashes per mile, so crash density. So taking a deeper dive, once we identify that these projects are on the list and that they need some attention, we look at logical termini, we look at a deeper dive at the crashes that actually occurred. So on Ashley River Road, you can see that this project is going to be 4 miles from Savage Road to Wesley Drive. And in a 5-year period, this corridor experienced over 2,000 crashes. Of those, there were 4 fatalities, 18 pedestrian crashes, and 28 bicycle crashes. US 17 Savannah Highway encompasses 6 miles of improvements from Hughes Road to Wapu Road. Again, a 5-year crash data period of over 2,500 crashes, 18 fatalities, 26 pedestrian, and 8 bicycle crashes. US 17 at Septima Clark Parkway, 4 miles from Cumming Street to Lockwood Drive. Again, 5-year crash data, over 1,000 total crashes, 4 fatalities, 15 of those were pedestrian and 7 bicycle crashes. And last but not least, Folly Road, 5 miles from Old Folly Road to Old Folly Beach Road, over 2,000 crashes, 6 fatalities, 15 pedestrian crashes, and 21 bicycle crashes. So again, we're very crash data driven and safety oriented. So once these projects are identified and we've come up with the limits for these projects and done a deeper dive of the crash data, we do what's called a road safety assessment. That's where we go out with a team of stakeholders, including the city, federal highways, local emergency services, highway patrol, and we put boots on the ground. We walk through the project corridor. We take a deep dive at the crash data that's out there. We evaluate traffic movements, and then we come up with an actual report. And those are some examples of what that report kind of looks like. Again, we include as many stakeholders as we can because they have valuable input. And so we want all of that at the beginning as we start this process. As we finalize that report, we come up with proven or known countermeasures that reduce crashes, and we implement propose to implement those. So it could be, going out and putting sidewalk out there. It could be putting ADA ramps or leading pedestrian intervals in some intersections. And so we prioritize and we rank those countermeasures based on cost and time to complete. And then we take those proposed countermeasures to the public through a public information meeting, and I'll let my colleague Sean talk about the rest of that process.
Yeah, just like Caitlin said, from taking all the input from the stakeholders and everybody, when we developed that road safety assessment report, we started developing a project. So one of the first things, once we developed from the road safety audit, we developed a concept. So these concepts we take to the public. So we already got input from everybody, the stakeholders and everything, but we also need the input from the public to kind of lay out the projects, get the feedback from the public, because we don't want to, sometimes we want to get feedback on what they want to do if we got to make some adjustments. A lot of these projects, they include, pedestrian enhancements. Because they're safety projects, it's going to be pedestrian enhancements. It's going to be a lot of recommendations as far as to reduce those angle crashes of where your worst crashes are. So, which is in return where these RSAs, you're going to see a lot of these medians. We're going to have sidewalks on these enhanced signals, but mainly I'm going to address the medians because those are going to be big things that everybody's going to want to be interested in. At the public meeting, we get comments back, good, bad, indifferent, and we take those comments, we compile them all, we incorporate them, and we get all those back from the public meeting. We get them from our public meeting website. We get emails straight to ourselves, and we get phone calls. Any comments we get back, we take them, compile them, and we start evaluating them. So just from the public meeting, the path forward, so we'll start evaluating the comments. We're going to revise the concepts based on the comments, and we also do a deeper dive of analyzing the crashes in the area, because these projects are, the intent is to reduce the fatal and serious injuries along these corridors. So we want to make sure that we're providing a project that, that provides the task that we're here tasked to do. From those additional concepts, there's possibilities for us to have another public meeting. But I just kind of want to illustrate, a concept. This is Folly Road. I'm just going to go through the Folly Road one real quick, but this process will apply to all four of the projects. So if you can see, like on Folly Road, that top is the initial design. So our initial design is kind of like a best case scenario from a safety point of view. We throw everything out of there to maximize the safety along the corridor, which is sometimes not always best for the public, the traveling public. It may not be the most convenient, but we're going to throw everything out there to make this section as safe as possible. But from the comments, we can take those comments and we can also do a deeper dive onto the crashes. So what we saw in this area is we went back and we had some concern. We had some concern with the access through the middle where you can see where the blue is. So based on our updated concept from us reevaluating and doing a deeper analysis, there's been some median that we removed that it just wasn't necessary from our initial one. We would like it because we think that it would make the project safer. Maybe you're going to sacrifice some convenience, but it's not necessary. So we removed it because we want to listen to the public and the feedback we get. But there's still going to be some sections where we felt we needed to keep in. Kind of like the one, just to illustrate the one, there's a pedestrian crossing that's there, and there will be median there to protect the crossing so they can do a two-stage crossing along with a signal where the pedestrians can cross. But this just kind of shows where we're listening to the public where we need to make adjustments where needed. And here's another section where, when we did a deeper analysis, we felt we saw a section where we needed to keep the median in there because there was abundance of crashes through this corridor where, you got those angle crashes, and that median is there to restrict those angle crashes in it. This one, let's see if we can. Yeah. Yeah, so this one was around Camp Road and Rivers Point. But yeah, I can get these concepts out, but it's really just to kind of illustrate it. There's gonna be, some sections where people may not like it, but, from our analysis and what we're tasked to do, we feel like we're gonna need it, but we made some adjustments. There's a section kind of in the middle where we saw where the crashes, didn't support the median, so we removed them out of there. And from those concepts, once we get the updated concepts, we're gonna go back to the public, and in particular, this one on Folly Road, we're already planning. The town of James Island wanted to do another public meeting, that's why, and we agree, we'll move forward, do another public meeting, take the updated concepts to the public, get additional feedback. And then once we get that feedback, we feel like we got a project that we feel good moving forward with design on, we'll start the design, and at that point, we feel good, we feel comfortable because we're still getting input from Mike and everybody else, that we got a project that we can move forward. And then we start looking at aesthetics, right? What we're gonna make it look good. So there's potential. And I know there's a lot of concepts for these projects, but I'm just speaking mainly on the median because I think that's what a lot of people are gonna be interested in. There's opportunities for the median to be grass. There will be opportunity for landscaping to beautify the medians so that we'll have a project that we can improve the safety in, and aesthetically, it'll look good in the area.
Just for clarity though, the beautification components of these medians, that would be part of the DOT bid and process, correct?
Well, there can be different options on that, right? So it's definitely leading question, right?
That's where I was going.
But, it can be a partnership with the city. We can include it in the bid
Could not.
process or afterwards. That's right. That's correct. So, there's a lot of ways. You got it. Good question, though, But, it's kind of where we are, it's kind of, we want to move forward with a project. The biggest thing is we want a project that's going to be safer for the area, people in the corridor, but we also want to take feedback from everybody involved so everybody feels good about it. This is just kind of update really quick on these projects. We've had public meetings for all 4 of them already last year, and then we had a couple this year. So like this Asher River was recently. So we're still within the comment period from the public. So we're still receiving comments back. So we hadn't got to the point where we can incorporate comments and make adjustments to the concept at that point on that. But kind of like I laid out for Folly Road, that process will apply to all of the projects going forward. So this is just a rough estimate. Construction, we're still looking a couple years from construction. It'll be 2027, just to kind of work through everything. Savannah Highway is kind of the same thing. I think the comment period may be closed on this one, so we're going to start evaluating comments on that one, do our further analysis as far as the crash analysis, and see what kind of adjustments needs to be made in, speaking in particular to the concrete medians. Septima Clark, and this one it's lumped in here, but it doesn't have any medians that will go in this project. This is mainly pedestrian enhancement, intersection enhancements, some signage, different things like that, but there's really no median changes on that. And we got some different intersection changes. Folly Road is kind of how I laid out just now. So we're further along on that one just because we just started it a little bit early as far as getting through the process. So, possibly construction late next year or into 27. It just all depends on how these projects develop. And that's basically just kind of wanted to lay those projects out, kind of illustrate the why we're here to doing these things, and then how we're going to progress through these projects, taking feedback. Just want to make sure everybody understands that the DOT, it's all a partnership in these projects, and we'll definitely be working hand in hand with the local stakeholders, Robbie and Mike and all these guys, trying to get a good project that everybody can kind of stomach. So, and now we'll take any questions.
All right, questions from any member of the committee? Anybody? On Folly Road, are you going to go back into another public engagement session?
Yes, sir.
All right. I mean, obviously the median has garnered a lot of attention,
Yeah.
to say the least.
Yes, sir.
So, all right. All
Yeah,
right.
we hadn't set it up yet. We're gonna look for a venue. We're gonna kind of finalize these updated concepts, and then we'll set a public meeting, and we'll get the message out for everybody.
I saw in the Septima Clark update that you don't anticipate construction of that until 2027. It seems to me that's one that should be just about ready to go.
It could possibly be done before then, but Sometimes we like to lump some of these construction projects together, so we want to thank, and I know I've just kind of listened to some of the issues that they've had with some of these smaller projects. Sometimes when you lump them together, you get more interest. When you have a bunch of smaller projects, there's just not a lot of interest.
get
So
it.
Sometimes lumping them together helps.
I mean, clearly safety being paramount and we've had some rough incidents along a lot of those corridors.
Yeah, that's
Septima
it.
Clark and
And that
Certainly.
always comes up where, it's not necessarily a congestion project, which we would like it to be. It can, a byproduct, it can a little bit help, but it's a safety project.
all right, any other questions, comments from the committee? If not, with our thanks, thank you for being here. We appreciate the updates. Please let us know what we can do to help, and we'll look forward to any updates, particularly on the Folly Road side of things where I think all of our inboxes have gotten
Yeah.
pretty full up. So
Good.
thank you. All right, is there anything else to come before the committee? I see we're at the end of our agenda. Any comments? Not, by acclamation, we will stand adjourned. Thank you all very much.